Welcome to the Create with Katrina Julia show by Fit Life Creation, where we talk all the things on wellness, faith, marketing, business, and travel to create a life and business you love. I've been there, friend. I've walked from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, and bondage to freedom, along with transformation in every area of my life. I'm right here with you, walking along on my own path to creating. So tune in so that you learn how to create a life and business you love, hands-on. Let's create it. The Create It Online Summit is open now for a free preview. Here's to CEOs who crave creating community and cash. You will love this free preview where I give you sneak peeks into workshops, behind the scenes, tips, tools, and tech with faith, wellness, marketing, business, travel, and communities for a true binge-worthy experience to create it like a boss. Click the link in bio to register now. Embracing the heat of holy hormones in your peri-menopause and menopause journey. So we are talking about a hot girl summer, but not that kind of hot, but the kind of hot that comes from within. Or, like my pastor would say on the Hot Girl Summer series, we are getting hot, AKA humble, open, and transparent from Transformation Church and Pastor Michael Todd. So, Katrina, why are we talking about the heat of holy hormones and why are we talking about perimenopause and menopause? So glad you asked. Well, in the spirit of being hot, I experienced my first hot flashes last year once, and then this year once or twice. When I say once, basically a couple times in a month during a cycle. And also insomnia, which I have never, ever, ever until probably about last year experienced challenges with sleep. In fact, fun fact, I literally slept through Hurricane Ike while my mom cowered in the bathroom afraid. Needless to say, sleep has never been a problem for me for years until somewhat recently, and I'll share some of what I've been doing to shift it. And I guess, truthfully or more importantly, or maybe more, I don't even know what words in actuality, it's been more like the falling asleep. And I think part of it isn't just hormones, but it's also electronics and screen time. And that's a whole nother topic. Anyways, ladies, buckle up and get ready for the ride of your lives. And if men are listening, you may want to listen in too, because this can give you some insight into what us ladies go through. We are talking about perimenopause and menopause, the phase where our bodies go through some serious hormonal acrobatics. But fear not, I am going to be sharing some of my own adventures and things I have learned the last several months with humor, inspiration, and a whole lot of encouragement that hopefully can get you to either shift and or prevent and or feel like a normal human again without necessarily relying on HRT or hormone replacement therapy, which I've also explored. So let's put on our Wonder Woman capes and let's dive into the world of perimenopause and menopause like the fierce and fabulous women we are, because we are going to laugh, learn, and conquer this wild ride. So the hormonal roller coaster and riding the waves of change. So I'm going to be real with you. Years ago, when I heard vaguely, whether it was from other people, other women, or, in reproductive class, that there's a time in our lives where our periods go away, I used to think, oh, wow, that's super cool. But then I'm still super regular, full transparency. But at the same time, when I even experienced a glimpse of the insomnia and a glimpse of like even the several hot flashes that I had, I was like, oh no, I will take keeping my period for the rest of my life to counter whatever this is. So get ready to channel your inner surfer chick, because perimenopause and menopause can bring some legit gnarly hormonal waves. A side note, if you were curious about surfing and you have not tuned into my show on surfing in Costa Rica and breaking my foot surfing in California years before, and still choosing to surf again in spite of fears, on the show and on the blog, you can find it via searching on Costa Rica or on travel. You will definitely want to check that out. So, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone go through varying changes, including DHEA and a number of other hormones, which I literally feel like I have been diving back deep into some of what we learned back in, say, like middle school and high school, but a lot of it has been refreshers, and a lot of it has been really, really taking on empowering and learning on my own, and then deciding how I want to test and navigate things on a natural level first before necessarily going directly to HRT, hormonal replacement therapy, directly with estrogen and progesterone, gesterone. Which, side note, years ago, some of you may or may not know, I was actually diagnosed in my late teens, early 20s with polycystic ovarian syndrome. And the doctors were like, the endocrinologist and my gynecologist were like, oh, you're gonna have to treat this the rest of your life with spironolactone and progesterone and hormones and blah blah blah, and like Charlie Brown's t-shirt says, wah wah wah. Well, even then I refused to believe it. I was on the heels and had left an abusive relationship, and I knew enough to know that I was sure that my hormones were radically out of whack and were likely contributing to the weight gain, which I had gained 30 plus pounds after leaving that abusive relationship, and legit blew up, not from eating, because literally I wasn't even eating like at all, hardly. And so I took things on, on my own, between workouts, eating healthy, and lost the weight and literally reversed the PCOS, got off the birth control hormones, got off the progesterone, got off the spironolactone. So now when I was faced with, these hot flashes or insomnia, I took on the same approach, the same way when I lost 55 plus pounds 7 years ago and became alcohol free, that no, I'm not going to accept this as truth or as my plight in life, that this is what's required to grow and age, that no, like I can adjust and shift things naturally. And so can you. And what works for me may not necessarily work for you, but a lot of it has to do with stress, with eating, with alcohol, with exercise, with leading a healthy, active lifestyle, and yes, hormones. So back to when all these hormones, decide to shift, go on vacation, fluctuate, surf, leaving us with hot flashes, mood swings, and sleep disturbances. It's definitely a wake-up call, to say the least. And the other thing I noticed in the last several months was about a week, say, before my period or during my period, definite shifts in mood swings. And I was like, oh no, this is not going to work. I refuse to be all doom and gloom, and I refuse to focus on the negative. So remember, you are not alone in this crazy ride. And it's all part of the journey of embracing our inner goddess, our queenship, and discovering a new level of strength and resilience. So, a couple of things. One, I mentioned earlier that, I lost 55 plus pounds 7 plus years ago. And immediately, as I was shifting, noticed a shift in energy. So if You know if you are not eating for your best self. You know if you are not eating every 3 hours and not taking in the right amounts of protein, of complex carbohydrates, of healthy fats, of veggies, of fruits. And if you need some help, definitely check out my 75 plus tools. And via the health section, you'll find a number of them, like a wellness assessment with Herbalife, and that will give you insights into a meal plan, into supplements, and more. And this can radically impact, how you feel energetically, whether you're in menopause or nearing it, or menopause or not. And then, of course, it's going to impact if you are. And then regular exercise becoming your secret weapon, boosting endorphins, like one of my favorite superheroes, Wonder Woman. And that can be as easy as walks. I go on a ton of walks and have for a long time. They especially ramped up during the pandemic, during my travels right now with walking these two babies, Tucker and Cooper, my friend Silvana's dogs, walking to the YMCA. I also lift weights 4+ times a week. Even though I'm not competing right now, I still eat every couple hours. I still consume Herbalife nutrition. I still check in and adjust like my protein, complex carbs, healthy fats. And all of this, helps massively. And then on top of that, you want to also think about stress management with things that bring you joy. Like this year, I have definitely danced more, whether it's been at the Home Depot backyard. I recently attended a bomb Zumba class at the YMCA, and I will definitely go again this week. On top of that, yoga, meditation, becoming your trusty sidekicks. I went to Jeju, an incredible Korean spa, yesterday. I used to go regularly back in like 2017 and 18 in Atlanta, and it was literally like my therapy. And I was reminded why when I went yesterday, because taking that time out, in a spa-like environment and saunas and hot tubs and red light therapy and silence is so fundamental to our nervous system and helping us stay calm and activating, both, because it's our naturally one part of our nervous system is activated, but all activating our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system helps so many ailments in so many ways, especially in the face of hormonal chaos. And let's not forget the power of prayer. I am an avid believer on the power of prayer and praying for alignment, praying for better sleep, and also believe, that taking heed of practical solutions as well. And so, along those lines, let's talk about holy hormone heroes, the natural remedies and supplements. So, when the going gets tough, it is absolutely time, I believe, to assess, adjust, but also call in reinforcements. So, I talked about parts of my story with, losing weight, looking at my energy, evaluating sleep, and all these different things. And that's why I started with that first, because I want you to adjust those things first, because I promise you, you will feel better. And part of that is also, I wanted to mention that disclaimer: the average person that uses Herbalife nutrition with a healthy, active lifestyle loses a half a pound to a pound a week. So, a couple of things as I started to research, of course, HRT, or hormone replacement therapy with estrogen or progesterone, came up. But although I know pharmaceuticals are a possible solution in direct HRT, or human growth hormone, I also am an avid student of the body, of the mind, and the natural production of our hormones, and encouraging that alongside food, exercise, endorphins, etc. But also, as I started to research, I discovered ashwagandha, I think is how you pronounce it. So I added that in, and that has definitely helped my mood, and ended up getting it up off Amazon. With Herbalife, I do take a multivitamin, I do take Cell Activate, I do have a slew of vitamins in my shakes and branched chain amino acids. I do take Restore, which includes elderberry extract and different things, and omega 3s. And omega 3s are definitely important for us supporting bone health and overall well being, and vitamin D. And even though I have vitamin D and calcium in my multivitamin, I added a dropper that I take vitamin D additionally a couple times a day. And I have noticed that has definitely helped with energy. On top of that, I found in research that black cohosh, which is included in the ashwagandha, and again, forgive me if I am not pronouncing these things correctly. And side note, you guys, I am certified in nutrition, but also like the one thing I want to mention is do not take at all my word as gospel. Research and do things on your own from what I'm sharing with you. And on top of that, if you feel the desire to consult with your doctor, do so. I didn't feel so motivated because I went to do my regular checkup last year, and my doctor did not mention like any of these things. Like, I didn't ask because I wasn't experiencing any of this yet, as far as like sleep adjustments or like flashes. But I would think, being if I was a doctor, but again, I'm not. And obviously, doctors don't think like this because I've had a number of, at least 2, 3 different gynecologists in the past 10 years for various reasons, moving to different neighborhoods, etc. No one's ever mentioned preventative care. Whether even when I was overweight, like nobody ever mentioned stuff, then for me, as we age, I would think a doctor, and this is a call out, and yes, I'm calling out all the doctors that, especially gynecologists, let women know, let females know, like, hey, you may or may not experience these things, in perimenopause or menopause. And I am so grateful to God because I was reading like some women experience perimenopause and all this crazy stuff like in their early 30s. And I am so grateful I did not. So all these things, like, and the other thing I was going to mention, so you may want to do your research, you may want to see, individually, and you may want to talk to your doctor, because I am not a doctor and I'm not your doctor. And I'm just sharing with you my own journey and encouragement that there are answers out there and you don't have to simply accept it as the status quo. And then if you test things, I encourage you to test 1 or 2 things at a time and then get your hormones tested. So I'm going to mention a couple of other things and resources. So like I shared, from my standpoint, I eat super healthy. I exercise avidly. I also use my Peloton app. I'm on 15,000 plus minutes year to date this year alone with all types of exercises. Then I was already on multivitamin and Cell Activate with Herbalife. I've added back omega 3s back in and Restore. I take vitamin B12, a dropper, every single day from Amazon. I recently added about 2 months ago or a month ago vitamin D dropper to increase my vitamin D levels. And then I was reading that primrose oil I was reading and doing my own research into different journals, into Amazon reviews, into several different things, that evening primrose oil, as well as Dong Quai and our black cohosh, can help radically. And I mentioned earlier, I had added about 4 months ago, but started being really consistent about a month ago with the ashwagandha. And again, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, has the black cohosh in that. And I found the one I'm taking on Amazon. And a month ago, I added evening primrose. And you guys, on top of the other regimen that I do to, keep up alignment, my levels, my hormones, the evening primrose oil has completely knocked out any avenue of flashes. Like, all my flashes are gone, thank God. And my moods are much, much better. Now, on an aspect of HRT, human replacement therapy, I did research and explore Proov. I did get the balancing oil with progesterone and a number of hormones about 2 to 3 months ago, when I experienced like 2 to 3 hot flashes, and I was like, oh no, like this is not gonna work. So I did explore that, and I have that, but I have not literally touched it now for over 3 to 4 weeks ever since I added in evening primrose oil. So I'm so grateful. And I did also explore another not human, hormone replacement therapy. It was, hold on just a second. So, Prove is you can do a number of different things with Prove, like the balancing oil. They also have hormone testing, which I will also be doing the hormone testing because now that I feel much better, I want to get my levels tested to see. And just as a side note, the balancing oil has more than just progesterone. I don't know how it tastes. I didn't taste it. It smells really good, like lemon, but it also has medium chain triglycerides, vitamin E, and lemon oil. They also have fertility tests. They also have hormone level tests, which obviously, in a sense, go hand in hand. They also have, let's see, you can take a fertility quiz on their website if you are trying to get pregnant, because obviously hormones relate to both pregnancy as well as if we are trying to get pregnant, as well as perimenopause, menopause, etc. And I love their story because it's off their founder and PhD scientist Amy, who was trying to get pregnant and kept suffering miscarriage after miscarriage, and no doctor could explain why. Well, she turned to IVF to have her son. And then after she uncovered her problems with ovulation, she successfully conceived, only needing a supplement. So she didn't have to do IVF again. So that's just letting you know the power. They also have progesterone pro, they have estrogen boost, and a number of other things beyond the tests. And then the other one that I tried was, the name is slipping me right now. It was, here it is, By Winona. So bywinona.com, I think I found them in an article somewhere online. Expert research and science-backed information for wellness made easy and accessible, tongue twister. And really, they offer prescription treatments and different types of HRT, or hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy. I guess I just want to think about H. So they do have DHEA, which I just ended up getting the DHEA on Amazon because I found one that had radical reviews, and I just added that literally yesterday. So I will likely share more things coming up, like next month or the month after. So you heard me talk about, like, I added vitamin D and primrose last month. Notice the flashes are gone, but I'm still having trouble with sleep and my energy, especially the week after my cycle. So I added DHEA. So I'll keep you posted. So you can see how I'm adjusting things step by step, just like I did when I lost 55 plus pounds. So By Winona, also, I found their story interesting because they are actually founded. So their goal is to take the confusion out of menopause and obviously also perimenopause and help women get the solutions they need. They are a telehealth company that aims to empower, educate, and treat women. And you sign up for a membership, and then the prescriptions are additional, and you can ask them to transfer them to Amazon, because I did have her transfer in the middle of all this happening and I was exploring. I did end up trying Winona. She did send the prescription to Amazon, but I was really, really focusing on going the natural route first, and I did not fill the prescriptions yet. And honestly, I don't feel like I need to, and I don't feel like I will need to. So you can ask them, or any, telehealth, to transfer them to Amazon Pharmacy. And if you didn't know, Amazon now has a pharmacy too. So, and then just so you know, and you can definitely read more on their website on bioidentical HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And it's sourced, they source from their own pharmacies, or they can, like I said, send it out to Amazon, but you do definitely have to ask. And there's just different effects. Like I didn't feel like any swelling or any radical adjustments that I definitely felt like years ago from like birth control or progesterone itself. And I didn't want to feel that again. But those are some resources that you can look at if you are exploring hormone replacement therapy. By Winona, or Prove, PROOV. And I had an okay experience with Winona. Like several times the doctor I was chatting with didn't really feel like she was listening to my questions because I would have to repeat them. So that wasn't a vibe, especially when you're in the middle of not sleeping well and having hot flashes 2 nights in a row. And then it got better. And then, when I mentioned like, hey, like, remember, you're dealing with people in the throngs of shifting hormones, perimenopause, and not in the best of moods. So when you add to that by not helping us feel seen or heard, that doesn't help. And she did adjust. And then prove my experience with the oil has, the times I did use it was immediate. The balancing oil was literally immediate. So in any event, so that gives you some insight with, just different avenues that you can explore and navigate it from a natural level and or a bioidentical HRT, hormone replacement therapy, if that's the avenue you choose to go. But I would definitely encourage you to try, different avenues with getting healthier, with exercise and supplements, because maybe you haven't been taking a multivitamin or vitamin D, and literally like that will help you, or maybe even primrose or anything else I mentioned. Then laughter as the best medicine, finding joy in the midst of hormonal havoc. Never forget the power of laughter. It's like a secret weapon that can instantly lift your spirits and bring joy to even the most challenging moments. Surrounding yourself with friends and family that can make you laugh until your abs ache definitely will help. It not only boosts your mood, but also release endorphins and helps you feel so much better. Embracing the queen within, nurturing your spirit, soul, mind, and body. As you embark on this incredible perimenopause or menopause journey, or maybe you're not here yet, but you're tuning in because you're curious on what possibly could happen, and then to know you're not crazy and you're not alone. Remember to nurture every aspect of your being. And the other thing I would mention, you guys, is I am so grateful that I lost, 55 plus pounds and became alcohol free 7 plus years ago, because I'm sure that has radically helped me and navigate this. And that's the other reason I bring it up again, is because I would encourage you, if you are in your 20s or early 30s or whatever it is right now, like take great care of your body, because like Jim Rohn said it's the only place you live, and the better you take care of it, I promise you the rewards are exponential, and the results and the return on investment is exponential in so many ways. Pamper yourself with self care rituals that make you feel like the queen that you are. Connect with your spirit through meditation, nature walks, or any other practice that brings you inner peace, and embrace the transformation happening, and or adjust what you may do to counter or adjust or reverse it so that you continue to live a full, healthy, limitless, and unstoppable life. So, queens, the perimenopausal to menopausal journey may have its fair share of challenges, but I'm here to tell you that you are limitless. And shout out to my mom. I was telling her a couple of days ago on our WhatsApp chat that I have so much even more respect for her, that as she was going through all this, she had my dad, my brother, me, full time work she was going into every day, back pains, and so many other challenges she was navigating. Embrace the heat of your holy hormones with a sense of humor, knowing you are embarking on a transformative adventure, just like you did when you got your first period. Like, let's be real. Speaking of going back to that, even though I went through education at school, the first time I got my period, you guys, I thought I was dying. I literally thought I was dying. I remember distinctly we were living in this 2 bedroom apartment in Houston, Texas, close to Dairy Ashford. I remember walking into the kitchen and like starting to cry and telling my mom I thought I was dying. And then she starts laughing. And I told her like what was happening, that I was bleeding and my stomach hurt so bad since the movie we had just left. And I started bleeding. And then she was like, "You just got your first period." I was like, "Oh my God." Like she starts laughing, but in a nice way. Like she wasn't mean laughing, but she like laughing, like endearing and like calming me down. So, yes. Anyway, embrace your superpowers, call on your sidekick squad of natural remedies or HRT if that is what you decide. And never, ever forget the healing power of laughter and of joy in this crazy human life. And please, please, please leave a review on the show so others may find out about holy hormones and how to create it like a boss. And tag me on social if this helps you in any way and or what you learned at Katrina Julia Fit, at Fit Life Creation. And as always, friends, remember, create, transform, and inspire. You are born to. And chats on faith, wellness, money, marketing, business, and travel so you create a life and business you already. Head on over to the blog, the podcast, and the freebies to jumpstart your transformation. If you're ready to dive into the online courses, the live events, or the retreat, and if you want to create with our community on an even deeper level, definitely check out our internships, our influencer collaborations, management, and brand engagement. Let's create it.